Hey guys! Before this week's episode, the Xbox Dive would like to bring your attention to a special cause. Fellow diver Joseph Moran over at Poly Games is going to be hosting a special event August 11th through the 13th called Gaming Against Cancer. All proceeds will be going to St. Jude's Children's Hospital to help children win their battle against cancer. To learn more, let's hear from Joseph.
Hello everybody, welcome to Poly Games. I'm your host Joseph. Today I am so proud to present in the honor and memory of my late grandfather, Gaming Against Cancer. It is here where we as gamers fight cancer the only way we know how, which is we game against it. On August 11th through the 13th, I will be running a charity drive on Twitch with this GoFundMe in mind, where we can donate to the St. Jude's Children's Hospital for August 11th through the 13th. We're going to be running this charity in honor of my grandpa, and all that those donations go to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. So please come along with me on the journey, August 11th through the 13th, twitch.com/poly_games. That is where we're going to come together as a community, have fun, stream games like Splatoon 2, like Overwatch, maybe even some PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, and have fun as a community, but most of all, donate to kids in need.
We hope you guys can spread the word about this awesome event. And with that, on with the show. What is up, everybody, and welcome to the show. This is episode number 8 of the Xbox Dive Show. You all know me. My name is Jamie, and hopefully you remember my co-host, Mr. Chris White.
Hello, James. It is a great day to be here. It's a great day to be in the Xbox Dive. I'm excited for tonight's show. And
Perfect.
It's been cooking for a little while, man. How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. As we were talking beforehand for the show, it's been a busy weekend. My wife and I went out with my parents. We're on like a little, kind of like a mini vacation, if you will. And it was pretty busy. We just got home a few hours ago. That's why we didn't record Friday or Saturday. And I know you had some stuff going on Thursday, so we couldn't record Thursday. But here we are Sunday.
Here we are.
We're bringing you a wonderful show.
We're here. Yeah, I had a friend need help moving on Thursday. So I literally drove from my work in Dallas an hour and a half straight to their house, and I helped them move until about 9 o'clock that night, and then I had to run by the grocery store. So I got home close to 10 o'clock, hadn't had dinner.
Perfect.
It's 110 degrees here, so sweating like a pig. So
pigs
don't sweat.
How's that different from any other day, man?
That's true, but I was sweaty and exhausted, so that was a little different. So,
sure.
I don't necessarily believe in karma, but just in case, I'm trying to bank it.
Of course.
So there you go.
Well, it's funny. It's been like extremely hot in Ohio lately, but this weekend it was like mid to low 70s most of the weekend, and nice and sunny. It was great weather all weekend.
That's cute. Well, you can shut up.
That's right.
Shut up, because when we left church this morning or this afternoon, it was 111 degrees.
Wow.
So you can bite me.
Yeah, it's so funny because it's been like extremely hot and storming like nonstop for like 2 months, and so the storms are finally starting to end, and the weather's cooling down a little bit. I know we're a little ways away from the official start of fall.
Mm-hmm.
But we're actually getting some fall games a little later on. But okay, let's just start off the show. And for those that are new, let you know who we are. This is the Xbox Dive. Chris and I, we wanted to make a wonderful place for fans of Xbox to come and talk about Xboxy things.
That's right.
So we started a great community group over on Facebook. Just look up the Xbox Dive on Facebook. You'll find us. We also have a show page on there as well, which posts videos, things like that. But if you want to get in on the conversation, talk with us, talk with other fellow divers, hop into the Xbox Dive community group. We have all sorts of conversations going on there. All the community members posting different Xbox news stories and things like that. We have polls every week that kind of help us mold our show. That is the place to be if you love Xbox. Also, we have an Xbox Dive club on Xbox One that's actually growing. I think we're up to like 18 members now. So it's slowly growing, which is great. We keep reminding people, if you like Xbox Dive, if you love your Xbox One, join the Xbox Dive club. Great place to be.
Yeah, and let me just throw it out. We
Sure.
are in the early talks right now of doing game night once
Right.
a month, and me and James are trying to work out our schedules and trying to work out kind of the logistics of it. But the idea is, hopefully in the very near future, we're just going to all sign in to the group, there on the Xbox Dive group on Xbox Live, and just have random, not random. We'll actually probably have the community vote on the game each game night, and just spend a few hours one night a month just gaming with you guys and trying to party up and seeing how that goes. So if you like multiplayer gaming, if you're looking for someone to game with, we're cultivating a great group of people that are following the group and just contributing. So it's a good place to find some people to play with. So yeah, definitely follow us there. It doesn't follow. I think you actually join. So join the.
Well, what happens if you want to join? Go in there and say you want to join. It'll send Chris and I a message saying that you would like an invitation to join, and so then we just have to go on there and hit a button, and it sends you an invitation to join. It's kind of weird. I don't know why clubs kind of work that way, but that's the way it's currently set up. So just hop on there, say, hey, I want to join, and we'll just hit the button and we'll open the door. Get a little security door. You got to type in the button, and it'll whoosh, open up for you. So. Yep. But talking about awesome communities and awesome groups, every week we say we can't do this without you guys because you guys are absolutely awesome. And every week we do a nice little community shout out to our group. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to Bradley Broadwell, Ryan Link, and Mitch Reeves, who are our newest members that just joined this week. They've already been active in our community, sharing stories, commenting on stuff. You guys are awesome. We are very, very happy to, just have you join the group and just talk Xbox with us. We absolutely love it. It's awesome.
Yep.
Want to give another shout out. Like we said, on our group, we're always doing polls and different community questions. Well, members, other members in the club, or not club, but in the Facebook community group also share stuff as well. Brian Stiltner went on there and he asked, what is your favorite game of all time?
Well, it's a heavy question.
I was going to say, that's a very, very difficult. Right away, he said Mass Effect 2. Boom. That was his answer.
Yeah.
He put it out there.
It's on the short list for me.
Yes,
but
it is.
It's hard.
It's in the top 5 for me, but depending on the day you ask me, my favorite game of all time probably changes a little bit.
Yeah.
But, if you know what your favorite game is, hop on there, talk with Brian in the group. It'd be great. Finally.
Well, what about right now? What's your favorite game right now?
Man.
Favorite game of all time?
You put me on the spot, man. That's a really hard question.
What did you write? What did you write in the thing?
On the list, I put Fallout New Vegas on there. I put right now off the top of my head, I'll just say Fallout New Vegas because the first one that popped into my head. I really love that game. Put hundreds of hours into it. Now I haven't played it since I originally played it, so I might be looking at it with rose tinted glasses. But right now, I love that game. It's really, really good. But I also have Mass Effect 2 on my list as well. So Brian, Mass Effect 2 is a great answer. But what about you, man? What would you say? Favorite game of all time?
Like off the cuff, I would probably say Wind Waker.
Oh, great game.
But like Breath of the Wild is in that conversation. I feel like, what are we, 3 months removed? I feel like I can't call it my favorite game of all time yet. Even though it probably will end up being, but I'm a huge Zelda fan. It always goes back. One day it's Ocarina, one day it's Wind Waker, but Wind Waker is normally my favorite of the series, and Breath of the Wild is definitely overtaken that. I think so, but I would say today I'd say Wind Waker.
Cool. Wind Waker, great game, but I know you don't like it, but I also really enjoyed Twilight Princess. I know you hate it. But,
that's an awful game.
Okay.
Such an awful game.
Real quick, before we hop into the news, let's just talk a little Xbox, man, about what we've been playing. For myself, it's just mostly been on my Xbox One. It's been Overwatch. I've just been playing a lot of Overwatch because I finally unlocked competitive mode. So you have to hit level 25, I believe. So I've been going in there playing competitive mode, having a blast with that. Been playing the other modes because if you go into arcade mode, there's all sorts of different modes, and I know they kind of rotate sometimes. But there's always a 3v3 mode, which it's actually 3v3, what's it called? 3v3 elimination, I believe. And what happens, whatever characters you pick, you play 3 matches. Whatever characters you pick, if your team wins, The next round, nobody can pick those characters. And if you win again, round after that, nobody can pick those characters. So it's really fun. There's another mode.
So basically, each round you have to pick a different person.
If you win. If you lose, you can pick the same people again.
Oh,
but it's the first of 3 wins. They also have a 1 versus 1 mode, which is a lot of fun. But one mode that they've rotated in right now, it's 6v6, like normal, but it's all Doomfist. It is just, you can only play as Doomfist.
6 Doomfisters?
It's just Doomfist just running around punching each other.
God.
It's great.
Doomfist Central.
And one other mode, it's called, what's it called? I want to say it's called like random selection or something like that. Where when you play, you don't know who you're going to be. Every time you die and you regenerate, you're a new character. And so that's a blast. Yeah, all these different modes. And honestly, man, I know you only play as Mercy, but I think if you played these different modes and tried out new characters, I think you'd like it a lot more.
It's all about Girl Archangel, man.
The other modes. Oh, actually, they did say they're bringing summer games back. Mid-August. And I know one of the producers of the game came out and said they're going to have one of the coolest costumes Mercy has ever had. So hopefully it'll get back in the game.
I'm ready.
The other game I've been playing, it's not Xbox related, but everybody we know has been playing it under the sun. Splatoon 2, because they had the first Splatfest this weekend. And one thing I will say, I love Splatoon 1. I played a ton of it. Coming into Splatoon 2 and playing it, I'm like, I think I overdid it on Splatoon 1 because it's kind of the same game. I mean, it's new maps and everything, but just playing it, I'm like, I feel like I've already experienced it, if that makes sense. And after coming off Overwatch and playing as Tracer and playing as all these super fast characters and then going to the slower pace of Splatoon 2, it just wasn't hitting it for me. Like, it was fine. I played it. I enjoyed it. # Team Mayo, right? So
Team Mayo for the win.
That's
what?
Right. But, I mean, it was fine. I enjoyed it, but I don't want to get too much into Splatoon 2 itself just because this is an Xbox show.
It's an Xbox show.
Chris, I mean, that's it. I haven't had a lot of game time this week. It's been mostly Overwatch and then a little bit of Splatoon 2 for the Splatfest. But what about... Oh, wait. There's one thing I forgot. I forgot. Because we're talking about Xbox.
Yeah, we are.
Our Xbox community group. We always talk about how great it is, but I want to say Andrew Swan, he's always in there, posting things and sharing things and starting conversation. Well, him, like many of us, are multi-console owners. He's also a fan of PlayStation. And just want to say, if you do enjoy PlayStation, he did start a brand new community group for PlayStation called Sony Jabronis. So if you want to find a group to talk PlayStation, I think he actually shared it also in our Xbox Dive group, because while we are fully all about Xbox, if the occasional other system pops up every now and then, we're cool with that. We want to share the video game love with everybody.
Sure.
But give that shout out to Andrew there.
Yeah, and real quick, I mean, Andrew was very respectful. He came in and asked if he could share a link out to it because he wanted to talk PlayStation, and we actually don't mind those conversations. What we will ask if you are part of the group is really just be respectful of other people. Look, people have different preferences and they have different things that they like, and so we don't sit around and moderate the comments. But if somebody comes on there and is just hateful to another person just because their opinion doesn't match up, we will remove that person from the group. That's not what we want to do.
Right. And as a follow up, Josh Brandt, we're sorry, but you just had to go, man.
Sorry, Josh. Sorry.
But okay, man. What have you been playing?
So I'll just touch on Splatoon real quick.
Sure.
Since you talked about it. Hearing you talk about Overwatch is exactly how I feel with Splatoon.
Sure.
I absolutely love Splatoon. It is probably my favorite shooting franchise. And I'm on an Xbox, podcast, and I know that's kind of blasphemy. I would all day, every day, rather play Splatoon than Overwatch or Halo or Call of Duty. Like that's just where I am.
Those are big words, man.
Now, Star Wars Battlefront 2 comes out in a couple months, so at that point, I'll kiss Splatoon goodbye. But in the meantime, Splatoon 2 has been fantastic. # Team Mayo. I played about 9 hours of it this weekend, and I absolutely love that game. And it was funny because Nintendo doesn't know how to make games, so there's no split screen in the game at all. So my kids had to stare at the screen while I played. But we did actually rotate. They got a couple hours in each. It was funny. We had a split house, so me and my oldest son were both Team Mayo, and then my youngest son and my daughter were both team catch up, and so we would trade off and fight for our teams, and it was a fun little weekend. But yeah, so Splatoon is great. On
Now,
the Xbox front,
what I just want to say though,
go ahead.
we did try out the Nintendo app, the voice chat app.
Oh my gosh, what a joke!
It's functional. Let's just say that. Like, it was nice having the stats pop up, but I feel like kind of what they're offering, in a way, Xbox was doing with Smart Glass back on 360, right?
Yeah.
And the voice chat, at least from our end, because what we did, we tried the voice chat app through Nintendo's app, and then we tried Skype right after it. But now on your end, Chris, you said the voice app on Nintendo.
It didn't sound
right. It didn't sound great. It was very crackly. Yeah. Just thought that was
so I was getting. Yeah, so I was using. I have an iPhone 7 Plus, and I'm on Wi-Fi. I have like 300 down stream, so I'm on my phone with headphones, and it sounded really bad. You were kind of breaking up a little bit. It was functional, but it wasn't
it
great. And we instantly got off and jumped on Skype, and it was like night and day. The quality jump. It was hilarious. Since we're taking a minute to bag on
that wasn't really the intention, but we just wanted to say
the problem that we had, the app is not great. Now I will say the app is absolutely great for tracking your matches and stuff, like
really cool.
for everything non-related to being connected to the internet or being connected to your game. It's great. But I will say that you cannot party up on Splatoon. So the way you have to do this is that James had to start a match, and then I had to follow James, and then that allowed us to be in the same hopper, but it randomized the teams we were on. So me and James played against each other
a lot
more than we played on the same
probably
team.
Like 80% of the time we were against each other.
And then to make things worse, we played about an hour and a half leading up to Splatfest, which we were excited about for Splatfest. As soon as Splatfest started, there was no way for me to follow him anymore. So the only way we could have played together was to have 4 people join a team, and then we could have ran as one team. But there's no way for just 2 people to party up and to play. Absolutely
right. The team stats were totally separate from the solo stats as well.
Sure.
So just to keep it fair, obviously. But okay.
But still, okay.
Right.
Enough of that.
Go ahead.
Because we can play Overwatch tonight, and we can party up and always be on the same team.
Well,
that's all I'm saying.
If you never actually played Overwatch, but you used to. You enjoyed it for like a couple weeks.
I do enjoy it.
It stuck to me a little bit more.
Okay, all right. What I'm playing. Other than that, I'm playing. I'm still playing through Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Mutants in Manhattan,
still enjoying it?
which I love. Oh yeah, I'm in the sewer now, beating up on Rocksteady, and it's a great game. I mean, look, I paid $2 for it on Amazon with my credit, so I think it was like 16 or something like that, and I had some credit, so it's definitely worth that investment, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. It looks great, it really does, and it's platinum. It's good hack and slash fun. And then Bayonetta came out, backwards compatible.
I was gonna say, I did a live stream. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah,
I did a live stream of that on Wednesday, I think it was.
Wednesday
or Thursday,
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, so that game's great. Again, it's platinum, so it's funny because it feels very familiar to Turtles. Except for it actually is comparable. Well, not really. She's a weird witch with hair things, right. But it's a little more fleshed out than what Turtles ended up being.
Now, I will say on the Bayonetta stream though, it was really funny because it's been a few years since I played it, and I feel so bad. I can't remember who asked this question because I had like 3 people in the live chat. Someone went on there and said, for Bayonetta, are all the moves unlocked from the beginning, or do you unlock them as you play? And like I said, it's been a while since I played it, but in my mind I was thinking, oh yeah, you have all the combos from the beginning, you can test them out in the in between stages. So I'm like, yeah, I believe you can actually get them from the beginning as you play, just kind of like memorize them, kind of like Street Fighter or something like that. Not even 5 minutes later, I went into the store in the game and it had this list of movesets you could buy. I was like, I apologize. I'm completely wrong. Don't listen to this guy.
This goes back to our conversation on reviews last week. Yeah. Listen, guys, we're novice at best. We do this because we love it. Please please don't bank on everything that we say. All right. So then I'll mention Marvel Heroes. I'm playing a lot of that. I love this game. I love Marvel, so it's just a lot of fun, and it's a game that I can play mindlessly while I'm watching a show on TV.
Anything else you've been playing before we hop into our news?
No, okay. That's it. Nope.
We're gonna hop into our news section, and now what we're calling News Box.
News box.
So I didn't know if you were gonna do that or not. I was waiting. I was like, how long should I wait?
I was waiting for that. I had a little pause, just dramatic pause.
Right. For emphasis, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Titanfall 2.
Yes.
We've been talking about that for a little while. It is now available to EA Access members. So if you're on EA Access, you can now get Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 is fantastic. The campaign is great. The shooting is great. It is so much fun. I had it at launch, and I played it for quite a bit, but like none of my friends had it, and like I had no one to play with. So over time, I started playing it less and less, and eventually I sold it. However, with EA Access, my brother-in-law and I are doing kind of like the game share thing, where his system is my system and all that stuff. Well, he has EA Access, so he went on his EA Access and downloaded Titanfall 2, but now it's on my system as well.
Yeah,
because it downloads automatically, and now I can play it under my name. So it's like, it's kind of cool. So I've got Titanfall 2 again. So if you guys want to play Titanfall 2, like that new, not Horde mode, whatever they call it.
It's kind of like Horde mode.
I can join in with you guys.
Yeah.
Now, Chris,
and well, because it came out in that rush of games, right? When so I went Battlefield 1. So I didn't get Titanfall 2. So I actually I played. I think there was a beta. It had a beta, right? I think I did the beta. Or I did.
You're right. Did a beta. Yes.
Yeah. So I played the beta to try it, and I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But with everything coming out that fall, like Titanfall was the one that I skipped, that I dropped. And so outside of the beta, I really didn't play the game. So I actually downloaded it this weekend because I have EA Access. So I am looking forward to jumping and trying the because I heard a lot of great stuff about single player. So that's really kind of what my interest is right
now. It's really good. Really good. Cool. I guess we'll stick with our game news real quick. Thumper, or as Chris added in our notes, Thumbed. wonderful spell autocorrect. It's coming to Xbox One.
Thumbed is coming to Xbox One. Get ready.
It's coming to Xbox One August 18th. So that is awesome. Also, as far as games go, Toe Jam and Earl and Epic Mickey 2 are now backwards compatible. Well, now, Toe Jam and Earl is always been one of my favorite games. Always. Had it on Sega Genesis. If you guys remember back when you had the Sega Genesis with the cartridge boxes.
Nobody remembers.
When you opened it up, it had the instruction manual in there, but it also had one of those fold-out Toe Jam and Earl posters, right? Got to put it on the wall when you're a kid. Love Toe Jam and Earl. I still get the music stuck in my head from that game all the time.
That's good, man.
Toe Jam and Earl 2 is good. It's different. It's good, but it's totally different from Toe Jam and Earl 1. And I'm really looking forward to Toe Jam and Earl Back in the Groove, which I believe is coming either this year or next year to Xbox One. So that is going to be awesome. I am
bringing it on.
Super excited for that.
Yeah, me too.
Let's see. Controllers, Chris. You were talking about there's some new variants for the Xbox One controllers, correct?
Yeah. So I'm in the process of designing. This is one of the hardest things in the world for me is to design a controller because they're expensive, and every time I make one, I'm like, I'm just not really sure. I made one that I love based on Yondu, so it's like blue and has like that metallic red on it. It looks great, and then I'm like, oh, that's cool. But then I made one based on Star-Lord, which is gray with red dual stick, so it looks like his eyes. Oh, and I'm like, that's really cool. Then I made one on Inferno Squad, which looks really cool from Battlefront 2. It's just black and red, looks super cool. So I can't ever decide, but Microsoft actually, they do some of the work for us, and so they have shown 3 brand new controllers. So they have one called Volcano Shadow, which is like this cool black like gradient into like a deep orange, which actually does look. It does look really cool.
Yeah, of the 3, that one looks the best, I think.
That one looks really cool. Yeah. And then they have a Patrol, what they call
Patrol Tech.
Patrol Tech.
Yeah.
which it just looks like it, like if you were a high-tech Time Cop. Basically, if you're a Van Damme from Time Cop, this is the Xbox controller that you would play with.
Wasn't there I think it was a Halo controller where it had like that grid design on it? It was like a dark blue, like that grid design. I think it was like a Halo controller. It looks similar to that.
Yeah, similar to that. Yeah.
I think it was Halo 5.
It looks cool.
I remember it was gray with like light blue on it.
Yeah, it looks cool. I like that one. And then my favorite one, which I actually almost pre-ordered this one until I saw it had no rubber grips, but they have one called the green and gray, and it does this thing which now that they are doing this, I kind of want to hold off on designing my controller, because what they've done is it's basically a grayed out controller with green highlights.
Oh yeah,
but
that does look good.
But the green highlights are under the joystick, so the joystick itself is gray.
Oh, okay.
But the rotating, the round ball part of the joystick is bright green, and it looks super cool. But it does not have the rubber grips. So the next controller I buy is gonna have rubber grips on the backside. But look, if you're too OCD to actually make your own controller like me, and looking for a cool one to pick up, definitely check those out. I think we are in agreement that the Volcano Shadow is probably the coolest.
Now, the green color in that, it reminds me of Seattle Seahawks. The neon green they have worked into their jerseys,
which I like.
I like it. So if you want to picture in your head, that's kind of the green it is, or the Xbox Dive neon sign logo, right? Kind of like
that's
that.
Right.
That green.
Dun, dun, dun.
Looks great. Real quick to talk about some updates on some games we talked about in the past. Last week we tried our best to talk about Destiny 2. Some more Destiny 2 news came out. Destiny 1. If you want to import your character, I guess the cutoff for that has already happened. So if you want to import your character, you should have already done it. Yep. But Bungie came out and said that you won't be able to customize your Destiny 1 characters that you import. So what they look like and things like that, that's how it's going to be. You can't change it. So they kind of tell you a little late because you already did your import. But so if anyone's looking to download their Destiny 1 character and make a bunch of changes, it isn't happening. But we actually put up a question in our dive community group, and all divers went on there and they're talking about it's not that big of a deal. I want to keep my character the way it is. So hopefully for most Destiny fans, that's not really going to be that big of a deal. Real quick, Shadows of War, the Lord of the Rings game coming out.
Yes.
A lot of people were complaining recently because of all the microtransactions they were talking about having in-game. Well, now it's come out that the game has to be online at all times to play. So if you do not have... Now, I know this is extremely, extremely rare nowadays, but if you play your Xbox One without it being connected online, I don't really know what's going to happen. Because they came out and said you have to be connected online at all times. So if you don't have your Xbox One connected online, let us know. If you buy the game, just say, hey, this is what happens.
Definitely. We'd love to know what... Or we can just get it and unplug our Xboxes.
Right. Final bit of news. If you enjoy a good taco every now and then. Oh,
man. I'm so excited
and
for
you love Xbox. I mean, if you love this show, if you love Xbox, why are you listening to this show, right? But if you love this show, you probably enjoy Xbox as well.
Yeah.
If you want to get your hands on Xbox One X, you may want to get your hands on some tacos.
Oh man, they are bringing the steak quesarito.
Right,
is what it's going to be. I'm excited. I'm excited for this, James. Look, Taco Bell is total garbage food, and I can't justify within myself.
Delicious.
I can't justify within myself to go eat garbage food unless there is like incentive. And so like now I generally have to reason with myself. It's like it's like self. Do you want a free Xbox One X? Yes, I do, self.
Right.
Okay, well, you're going to have to eat a steak quesarito. And I'm like, okay, I'm freaking have to get 3 of them.
I must.
That's right.
Well, what's happening over at Taco Bell? Beginning August 31st, they're having a contest, kind of like what they did when PSVR came out and PS4. You get a code on your cup and on your $5 box and all that stuff. You go on the website or type it on your phone, and you have the opportunity to possibly win an Xbox One X. So, if you're going to eat Taco Bell anyway, just, get the $5 box, the bigger drink, get your code. You never know.
It's amazing. The $5 box, it's a case. Look, if you don't know what the quesarito is, it's a burrito. It's a burrito wrapped in a quesadilla. I mean, look, like seriously, there have been wars fought for less important things
Right.
than a burrito wrapped in a quesadilla. So you need to buy it and eat it. You need to win an Xbox One X, and then you need to let us know so we can talk about it on our show.
Right.
Actually,
Now-
you know what? Hey, what we should do is we should have an Xbox One X Taco Bell special episode where we eat Taco Bell
While we do the episode.
we're doing the
Yes.
show. We're doing that. We're
We'll
doing
type our
that.
codes in and let people know
We're
if we
doing
won or
that.
not.
Oh my gosh! And what if we won
Dude,
live?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh! That
now,
would be amazing.
Now, one thing I wonder though, I think if I remember right, like PSVR and PS4s, if you win the code and you get it, I don't think you get it on launch. I think it's like a few months after, if I remember right. Like they don't
it's
ship it to
free.
you,
Whatever.
and I think it comes in a box and it's Taco Bell and everything. So, but
That's fine.
that would be awesome. Now, one thing I do really like about Taco Bell is how incredibly cheap it is. Like my wife and I will
man.
go anywhere else and be like, it'll be well over $10, right? 10, 15 bucks, whatever, just for the two of us. You go to Taco Bell, we order like everything off the menu. They'll be like, yeah, that'll be like $1.50. Like we get out there for like $5. We get like bags and bags of tacos. Like it's crazy.
Oh, that'd be the best.
Taco Bell is cheap,
I love
and you
Taco
can win
Bell.
an
It
Xbox
is-
One X. So
It is garbage food, but there's nothing better than watching the regular show, shoving your face full of Taco Bell.
there you go.
I actually want to leave right now and just go buy Taco Bell. So.
Dude, that's actually a really good idea. What if maybe not every Thursday, because that's a lot.
Yeah,
of tacos.
we start this. No, I'm doing
every
it every
Thursday when we record. Because guys, if you're watching this live right now, we do normally record on Thursdays, but just because of life happenings this week, we had to push it to Sunday. But if you want to watch us and see if we win, you got to tune in live for the Xbox Live on Mixer.com.
That's right. That's right. We just do like a 15-minute pre-show every week where we eat tacos. we let you watch us live eat tacos, and then put in our code to see if we win.
That'd be great. If you guys want to see it, let us know in the live chat right now.
That's right.
Or if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to check out our YouTube channel. Subscribe on there. Let us know in the comments. But with that, man, I think we should roll into the actual show.
Let's do it.
Chris, one thing you love on your Xbox are all the different apps you can use. Because, right now, there are so many apps on the Xbox One. But this is a topic that is near and dear to your heart, man, because something happened recently. So, what's going on in the world of Xbox?
Well, so so let's talk about the news. So they found a picture online of Major Nelson, his gamer tag, saying that he was playing Spotify, the Spotify app on his Xbox One, and so then along with that little clip, they did have an official announcement. I think the Verge is the one who posted it, but basically they just said that they're in testing right now and that it is coming very soon to Xbox. So real quick before we kind of talk about the news itself, I'll tell you why I'm excited. I'm a big music person. Like that's what my degree's in. That's what I went to school for. So music's always been a huge part of my life, and I absolutely love it. The issue right now with Xbox is the only way to get streaming music on there is either with Pandora, iHeartRadio, which those are okay, but you can't do specific songs. You could just stream like channels or like moods or playlists or stuff like that, or you can get Microsoft Groove, which is fine, but Microsoft Groove it is competing with Apple Music and is competing with Spotify, and Spotify by far it seems to be the most popular.
Sure.
At least right now. And so I've been a premium subscriber to Spotify for a while now, and I use Spotify literally every single day at work. I'm listening to Spotify. So this was something that I really wanted, and they had a partnership with Sony. So PS4 got a Spotify app like a year ago. They've been able to do Spotify on their system, and Xbox has it. And and there was really not a lot of talk of it coming. And so then kind of out of nowhere, this dropped. And so I'm super excited that it's coming. Now, again, I'm paying that service. So this just adds another device. And for me, we host a lot of, dinner parties or friends and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So to be able to play it on the big screen in the main room through the Xbox One is just super cool, because then I can actually play, the music that I want to play and not just have it be random, music. So that's kind of the news in and of itself. So I think it's a really big win for Xbox.
So with Spotify, I'm trying to think, do you put your own music into like a Spotify library online that it pulls from, or
no,
you buy the music through Spotify? Or
none of that. No,
okay.
It's all streaming. Now, what Spotify will do is like the device that it's on, it will read the hard drive and add any songs that you have. So if you have it on your computer, and like let's say you had 50 songs, it will just add those 50 songs right to your library. So for instance, with the app, what's cool is now this is only for premium. So if you're a free member, you can still stream songs, but you'll have commercials, and I think that you're not able to pick the like single song by song.
Okay, so it's more like iHeartRadio and things like that then.
Yeah, but on the computer you can. If you're on the computer, but with the apps, you have to. If you're not a premium member, you have to. You can pick, like, let's say you want to listen to, whoever, Pantera. You go to Pantera and then you click, listen, and it'll shuffle their songs, but you can't pick a specific song.
Got it.
On the app, okay. But as a premium member, you can anywhere you can pick it. But what happens is like on your phone, you can download whatever songs you want for their whole library and have it offline, so you're not having to stream it.
Oh, okay.
And so but you have to play it through the app. So that's the way that works. But it is just a streaming service, so it doesn't really add, your songs. Now that's the one advantage that Groove Music, which is Microsoft's
right. I was gonna say with
has.
that, anything that's on your OneDrive, I believe you can pull in, which is nice because OneDrive's fantastic. I love OneDrive.
Yeah, but really, I mean, Spotify, outside of Taylor Swift, Spotify has pretty much anything. I mean, there's a few.
Oh yeah, I forgot. There was that big controversy. Yeah, I forgot about that.
It doesn't have Taylor Swift, and it doesn't have Garth Brooks. So there you go.
Your two favorites. I feel bad for you.
Yeah, I'd love to listen to both of those, but yeah. Anyway, so that's the news. So I'm super excited as a Spotify Premium, card holder, whatever member. I'm super excited because I will use this a lot. Now, the one thing they haven't mentioned, which I assume will be there, but they haven't mentioned if this will have background play, which, that's actually something that is possible on Xbox now as of last year with the update, but not every application uses it. So like Pandora, you can use, for instance, in background play. So I would assume that you can, but that has not been, confirmed at all. But hopefully it'll have background play, because then I can play Forza and listen to my
that the best games, man, like racing games and sports games, like Madden and like NHL, like all those games with their own soundtrack, so good.
All I want to do is listen to the Baby Driver soundtrack while I'm driving through Forza.
There you go.
That's all.
Awesome. Or Guardians Volume 2, right?
Both.
Right.
That's fine. I actually have a playlist called Guardians plus Baby Driver, and it's Guardians Volume 1, Guardians Volume 2, and Baby Driver soundtrack.
Cool.
And My Way by Frank Sinatra, just because that's in every playlist that I make.
And why? I did not know that. Why is that? Just because you love that song?
It's the greatest song ever made, man.
There you go. Cool.
So,
okay. Well,
little something about me there.
That's true. I learn something new about you every day, man. You just gotta add to the list.
That's right.
Okay. But outside of apps now, because I know you said you're super excited for Spotify, just for our listeners, what apps do you use the most on your Xbox One? Because like for myself, it's mostly video apps. So it's Netflix and Hulu and Amazon. Got to use those, right? And I'm using Sling TV, right? Use a Sling TV app, which is Sling TV is great, because we don't have cable or things like that. Now on PlayStation, they don't have the Sling TV app, which is kind of weird. They have almost everything else, but they don't have the Sling TV app. So I really like Xbox One has that. Otherwise, we have to go back to the old Roku stick that plugs in the TV, right? Because that has it. But since it's built in Xbox, not an issue. And plus the Switch doesn't have it either. Oh, wait, the Switch doesn't have any streaming apps.
Dun, dun,
But
dun.
we also use the CBS All Access, I think is what it's called, because my wife, loves Big Brother, and what CBS does is really annoying. Any other network, you can normally go onto Hulu or something like that, stream your shows. CBS, you got to pay their $2 a month or whatever it is, because it's really cheap. It's not like it's that expensive. But if we miss one of the because Big Brother, that show's on 3 days a week, man. It's Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. But the Thursday shows are not it's a little bit later, so normally we miss that, and so we want to watch the next day. You can't unless you have their app. So we use that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we really use, because once again, it's just I mostly use it for video streaming. I mean, that's what I use it for.
Yeah, well, I mean, and we do the same thing in a big bad way.
Mm-hmm.
I have 4 kids, and they all have different preferences and things they like to watch, and we have subscription. We're cable cutters. I haven't had a cable in 12 years.
We haven't had cable our entire marriage. So all 10 years of our marriage, we've never had cable. And we just recently got Sling TV, and the only reason is because my dad wanted it because they got rid of their cable, and he got the most expensive package. You could stream on 4 devices at one time. He goes, "Hey, you want to watch TV? Boom." So that's kind of nice.
Yeah. So I mean, we use a lot of that. We're big music people, so we like we will not have something normally playing. Sure. So we use a lot of either Pandora or iHeartRadio, just because those are really the only 2 options. And then of course all the video streaming stuff that you said. We use Plex a lot.
Oh yeah, Plex is really nice
so
too.
because I have a server set up in the house.
Yeah.
So
my brother-in-law does that too. He's got his computer set up as a server, so then whenever room he's in the house, he can just stream his videos.
Yeah, so that's cool. Yeah, I mean, so I guess just kind of tied this off, like, one of the things I really want to see is, and we know this is coming, because I forget what conferences was, but they mentioned it. They actually showed a picture of it, but that iTunes is coming as a universal Windows Universal app, which means it'll be on Xbox. iTunes is something. While I'm traditionally a PC guy and I love my Xbox, I do most everything from my iPad.
Yeah.
See, there she is, my iPad Pro, which I absolutely love, and I have an iPhone. So, because if we're flying or going somewhere, I always take my iPad. I normally buy movies on iTunes. So basically, all the movies that I have on iTunes are locked to the iTunes account, which is not accessible on on Windows. So I either have to do it through cast my device to my TV or something like that, or just plug up my laptop and then play it like that, which is cumbersome at times. So I have a lot of movies, and back, like going years back when you would buy DVDs and it would come with digital copies, I would download the iTunes version of the movie. So I mean, I literally probably have a couple of hundred movies that I just don't have access to on my main TV through the Xbox, and we do most of our media through the Xbox. So I really want to see that come, and they said that it is. So that's definitely one thing I want.
And now that you talked about that, I totally forgot about because Flickster, which you have to kind of do through Vudu on the Xbox.
Oh,
yeah. Kind of strange. Because all the digital copies we get, we do through Flickster, which is also attached to Vudu. So we use the Vudu app. Yeah. So we don't really use it that often because, we buy, 4K Blu-rays, things like that. So we own the movie. We're going to watch, I guess the best quality possible versus streaming. Because our internet is decent. It's not nearly as good as yours.
Yeah.
But, we do have the 4K stream package for Netflix and for Hulu and for, anything we can get the 4K stream package on, we do.
Yeah.
But, we do have that on there because there are certain things. We have certain movies on there where friends will be like, "Hey, you want to watch this movie?" And they'll just give me their code. So that's how I watched Deadpool the first time. Someone gave me a code for that. So I do use that a little bit as well. Now that you mentioned it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So and then the only other one that I'll throw out real quick, and this may sound, like kind of stupid, and I get that to a certain degree, but I read a lot of comic books.
Oh yeah.
And I actually bought my iPad originally, like I don't know, 5-6 years ago, whenever it was, I bought my very first iPad specifically for the reason of reading comic books.
Comicsology.
And yeah, with Comixology, and I've been doing that ever since. I mean, I am a digital only consumer. My games are all digital. My music is all digital. My movies are all digital. And so, you know, my comics are now as well. And while I don't think I would do it all the time, if you've ever used Comixology, they have this really cool thing called a guided view, which is they kind of snap close into like a couple of word windows, and then you tap the screen, it taps to another part of the conversation. I actually enjoy reading comics this way because I tend to turn the page when I have a physical comic, and even though I'm supposed to start over here at the top left, I'm looking on the right hand side like, oh crap, what's about to happen? Right. And then I'm like, wait, and I have to force myself not to do it. So this actually kind of keeps the surprise, which is pretty fun. But so like while I probably wouldn't use it a whole lot, I definitely would use it some, and I think it would be cool to be able to, on a 4K TV, you know, as crisp as that screen is, to be able to browse my comics and read them from my couch or, you know, for my computer.
Just hit the bumper or the trigger and just kind of flip
to go to the next.
That'd be really nice.
I would love to do that. So
that's really cool. Now, as far as apps go, is what I'm looking for. I mean, right now, honestly, I've got everything I need. Honestly, I mean, because the Xbox offers so many great apps. Now, I will say there's a lot of junk in there I don't touch. I mean, there's a lot of things I'm like, what is this? But for the most part, when I need an app, I know it's going to be there, which is great. And actually, with you talking about Groove Music and how that works, because a lot of my stuff, I know for you always buy Apple, you know, for everything. I've always kind of bought Microsoft for pretty much everything. You know, before I had my iPod, I had a Zune. Love my Zune, but it's dead, obviously. But Zune Music was great. I've got a Windows tablet. Man. You know, I had a Windows phone for a while. So all my stuff, you know, I really enjoyed through Windows. So maybe if that Groove app is good and the service is good, because I know they offer to Xbox Live members, I think it's like 4 free months or something. So I could try it out for a whole quarter of a year and decide if I want to keep it or not. So I may look into that. But okay, guys, cool. What apps do you use on your Xbox One? Are there certain apps you use more than others, or certain apps you don't like, you wish you had better features? You know, what's the Xbox One missing? Let us know. If you're watching live, let us know in the Mixer chat, mixer.com/thexboxdive. Or if you're watching this later on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and then comment below. We would absolutely love that. We actually read every comment. We try to respond to every comment. Also, like we mentioned previously, always check out our Facebook community group. Go to just go to Facebook, look up the Xbox Dive, find us there, join us if you love talking about Xbox. Finally, you can find us on Twitter at the Xbox Dive. So, Chris, one thing interesting that happened recently, Grand Theft Auto. It's a game that just keeps on rolling. Recently, Take Two, right?
Take Two.
I was gonna say Double Fine for a second. I don't know why I was gonna say Double Fine.
Nope, not Double Fine. Double Fine does not publish Grand Theft Auto. Sorry.
Oh man, but no, Take Two came out and they're talking about GTA, and they said GTA Online just had the best quarter it's ever had. They said
that's insane. They
said digital sales were up 47%. Which is $281 million. They said their digital transactions were up 72%. Now that includes DLC, in-game currency, microtransactions, that kind of stuff. This game came out at the tail end of last generation. This is an Xbox 360 PS3 game that got remastered.
That is crazy.
Xbox One, PS4. And it's on PC too, right? I think. And this game is in the top 10 every single month since it came out. Who is still buying this game? Everybody I know owns this game. The only thing I could think of is if they had it on PS3 and they upgraded PS4. They had an Xbox 360, upgraded to Xbox One. Well, then they got the other system. So the PS4 players bought an Xbox One, so they all bought the game there. The Xbox One players also bought PS4, so they bought the game there. Like, it never stops. This game is a money maker. But it kind of popped the question into my head. Why is it that certain games have these long legs and they just keep on going? Like, what is causing Grand Theft Auto 5, Grand Theft Auto Online, all that? What is causing it to be so popular? Because looking at it, like Overwatch right now has been out a year. It is more popular now than it was at release. Now they've got, official leagues for it. They've got, they're adding new characters. They're bringing summer games back. Like myself, I was a late adopter for Overwatch. And I know Chris is the same way. And so there's got to be a lot of people like us joining on and hopping on now. And so it just keeps going. But for every Overwatch, there's a Battleborn, right? So why is it that Overwatch is doing so well, but Battleborn, well, it's not exactly the same. It was a multi-character first-person shooter where it was in an arena. And while it was more of a MOBA, it was still an arena shooter, right? And I actually really enjoyed Battleborn. It was a great game, but it just died, right? And there's just certain games that stick around and certain games that don't. So I just thought, Chris, is just kind of a fun conversation.
Sure.
What's the magic, man? What is the magic ingredient that keeps some games hanging on and other games just, brushed to the side, just brought up, in talks about gaming history? I mean, what is that deciding factor?
Well, man, it's really, look, it's hard to even probably put that into a formula, because if we could do it on the show, everybody would do it,
right.
and they would have games that sold 200 million copies.
That'd be amazing.
I think for me, I think that number one, it's name recognition.
Mm-hmm.
For Overwatch, that comes in the way of Blizzard,
right?
And for GTA, that just comes in the way of GTA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, actually, we had someone on the chat actually just write that GTA is a rite passage. And that's actually actually true.
That is very true.
I mean, GTA 3 was a I will always remember that game. When it came out, I didn't even have a PlayStation. I played it at a friend's house.
Yeah.
But PlayStation, on PlayStation, it was PlayStation 1, right? GTA 3.
No, that was PS2.
Was it PS2?
Yeah,
okay.
It was PS2.
So
no, wait. Are you
playing
talking about GTA 1 or GTA 3?
GTA 3.
GTA 3, yes, PS2.
PS2.
Sorry.
Okay.
Because I said PS2, and then I thought for a second, did he say GTA 1 or GTA 3?
No.
I thought he said 3.
Because 3 is the one that changed it, right?
Yep.
And it almost became
the virtual hooker puncher, right? Isn't that what people called it?
Yeah. Exactly. But here's what I'm getting back to. I think it comes back to word of mouth. Maybe is the best way to say it. But you mentioned Overwatch, right?
Yeah.
I didn't never try Battleborn because I didn't have anybody to play with. I probably would never play Overwatch if I didn't play with you. But I do think that if you find an audience that you connect with, and it's not just the gameplay. The thing about GTA is they do such a good job at crafting like this deep story, with all these, kind of twists and turns along the way. And then this amazing open world that they create. And it's water cooler conversations, but it doesn't affect you if you're not around people that play it. Look, I haven't beat GTA 5. I actually don't talk to anybody on a regular basis that has played or even liked GTA 5. It's just not in my discussion. But if you are in that, and maybe you work with a group of people, or maybe you hang out with a group of people, and they're all playing a game like GTA 5, it just becomes something you have to experience so that you can be part of the conversation. And then with a game like GTA 5, it just doesn't end, man. It doesn't stop. And neither does Overwatch. It's constantly raising the bar, adding new content, bring these hooks, just like Overwatch just announced. The summer games are coming back, and it's all these hooks that are keeping that audience. So it's about gaining an audience and then keeping that audience, and both of these games have done it.
Right. I think the main thing, now that I'm thinking about it, with GTA and with Overwatch, they had a solid foundation to build onto. right? Because some of these games, it's like they want to make it last, but it's like building a house of cards, right? It's just gonna get blown over. It's like the pig that made his house out of sticks, right?
Yeah, and
But
the
he also
big
got
old
the pig
bad
that made his
wolf.
house out of bricks. So, Overwatch and GTA are like the brick house, man. They are solid. And so they had this great foundation. And from there, they could add onto their mansion, right? So like with Overwatch, the actual foundation of the game, the first-person shooting, the loot boxes, it had that hook in there. But from there, now they can add new maps. They can add new characters. They can add new modes. But they do it consistently to a point where even if you're starting to lose interest, like let's say people stop playing GTA, stop playing Overwatch. The reason I'm talking about Overwatch is lately I've been playing a lot of it, and so I've got more experience with it than with GTA.
Yeah.
But let's say they stop playing for a few months. Oh, hey, do you hear summer games are back? Oh, yeah, summer games are back. And they'll hop in and play Lucio Ball or whatever they want to do. Oh, those specific skins that you wanted, they're only in this window. Or Halloween, they got Halloween skins and Christmas skins and all that stuff I missed last year. I'm looking forward to this year because I know they're going to unlock those plus new ones in October. So I think that's what it is. And like GTA, people said GTA 5, and I played it, enjoyed it, saying it's the best GTA ever made. Right?
Yeah.
And from there, and now with GTA, I think it's a little bit different than Overwatch. Now, I'm probably wrong on this, probably completely wrong. So if you're in the live chat, just say, you're an idiot, you're wrong. I feel like Overwatch, in a way, is more for the competitive gamer, right? Where I feel like GTA is more for, I'm trying to think the best way to put this, because I'm probably going to make a lot of people mad when I say this. I don't mean this in a bad way. I feel like GTA is that game where you've got that friend. He buys a console, and all he does, he buys Madden, he buys Call of Duty, and he buys GTA. You know? Like, GTA is, even if you're a gamer or not, that is a staple where, even if you're slightly interested in video games, you are going to buy GTA.
Yeah.
And so all these late console adopters are now picking up GTA.
Yep.
So, I mean, what else do you think? Like you said, you think it's more of, well, not more of, but you think one of the big things is name recognition, right? It's Blizzard. It's Grand Theft Auto. It's they have their hooks already in you before you even buy the game. Because with Battleborn, I love Battleborn. I thought Battleborn was great. Battleborn had an actual story mode. Overwatch doesn't have that. And I remember when I heard about Overwatch, I'm like, everybody's already jumped on the Overwatch bandwagon before it even came out.
Yeah.
Why do you think a game like Battleborn and other games, you know, in the same instance where something similar came out recently, why did it fail? Because Gearbox is a big name. They make Borderlands. People love Borderlands, right? Why didn't it click?
Yeah. I mean, I think the answer is I think it's just name recognition. I think that the name brings a lot to it. Battleborn was a brand new IP, even though the developer, and again, so was Overwatch, but these Overwatch characters, you know, are, well, it's something that Blizzard is known for, is these hero characters, and their other games. So, but like they have, like, this is following. Blizzard has this amazing following. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I do think that releasing them both close together was a death wish for Battleborn. There was no way that you're going to come out next to that. That would be like, you know, me starting a brand new, you know, FPS game, you know, calling it, you know, whatever, Skyfall, and but I released it the week before Call of Duty, you know, whatever, World War II. Like, it's gonna get trounced. It's gonna get lost in the shuffle. Even if my game was great, you know, it's going to be beat because of name recognition and because of the value of that studio. If you look at Gearbox, yeah, Gearbox is big, but what they're known for is Borderlands, right? I can't even think of another game off the top of my head that they've made.
Well,
so
I was gonna say, I do wonder though if it has to do, right around the time Battleborn came out, Gearbox released two other games. They released Aliens, Colonial Marines, and
Ooh,
Duke
that's
Nukem
right,
Forever. Remember?
Oh, both piles of trash. Yeah, yeah. It could have been. It could have been that too. Bad word of mouth. I just think Blizzard is an unstoppable force, and I don't know what it is. I don't know why. But I think that Overwatch really caught on PC, and I think that it wasn't it out first on PC before it came to console.
I can't remember. I think
feel like
you're
it
right though.
was.
I think you're right.
Yeah, so I think there was always already some word of mouth about how good it was, and it was coming to console. But I just think that those guys know what they're doing, and they have this great fan base. And then what happens is if you get people in the conversation, they're going to tell their friends, "This is what you need to play." Crap! How long did Josh tell us we needed to play Overwatch before we finally did?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, seriously,
it took a long time, and we didn't really hop into it until they had a major sale on it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now I will say with Blizzard though, like for me, I didn't really have the Blizzard connection, right? Because I don't play World of Warcraft. I don't play. What's the card game called? Hearthstone. Don't play Hearthstone. Like I didn't have that Blizzard connection, right? And for me, I'm like, oh, it's a Blizzard game. I don't really play Blizzard games, so I didn't really get all enamored and excited for this thing that hasn't happened yet, right? Even though the reviews were coming out and everyone was saying it was game of the year, boom, 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 all over the place. I remember we had the Life of Gaming Game of the Year conversation, right?
That was hilarious.
And we never played, at least at that point, we hadn't played Overwatch, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, we don't get it. Everyone's like, it should be our number one game. It should be up there pretty high. And Chris and I were like, well, I don't know, because it just looked like every other shooter. Like it didn't, at least to us, from first inspection, we're like, Overwatch doesn't look that great.
Yeah. No, I threatened to leave the show. So.
Oh man, but it's just interesting how certain games are going to pull you in, and certain ones won't.
Yeah, but I think you're answering your own question.
Sure.
Me and you had no interest in doing it, and we have now bought the game, and you now play quite a bit, right? And this is the answer to GTA, right? GTA just keeps going because eventually you're going to wear down your friends, and that's what happened. Josh, you guys need to try it. You guys need to try it. You guys need to try it. And then what did the Xbox had a free weekend?
Yeah,
and we played it free weekend. We enjoyed it. We both bought it that weekend, and we've been playing it ever since. And that's the difference. The difference is it builds an audience and it keeps the audience, and the audience tells people, what should I play? Play Overwatch. Well, I don't want to play that. What should I play? Play Overwatch.
Right.
And that's how that conversation goes. Same thing with GTA. Hey, I just bought an Xbox. What should I play? First game you should buy, GTA 5.
Right.
I've never played it before. Buy it. You'll love it. And that's where that goes.
Right. And the thing about GTA, I think that also gives it its staying power, is that the name, like you said before, is recognizable. But at the same time, you do not have to play any other GTA games to understand the characters, to understand the stories. They're not connected, right?
Yeah.
What's connected is, I guess, kind of going back to what I said before, that gameplay foundation is there. And they use the same gameplay foundation for GTA, for Red Dead. That's like their bread and butter right there. That is what they use. That's their gold right there. And other people have tried to do it, like with GTA. GTA is still going strong, but if you look at another game like Saints Row, right? Saints Row originally was a GTA clone, right, for Xbox. That's what it was. And it just didn't click in the same way because it's trying to copy and understand what made GTA so good, and it couldn't figure it out. And I feel like these kind of games don't come around that often. You may have one or two in an entire generation. Yeah. And I think we've already had them. I think it's going to be GTA and Overwatch. I do not see any other game, because like Titanfall 2. I love Titanfall 2. I thought it was a great game when I got it, but the people playing it fell off so fast. And you just never know. You just never know what's going to stick.
That's true. No, that's true.
So, okay, guys, I know this is supposed to be about what gives games long legs, but kind of turned into a GTA Overwatch conversation. So I apologize for that. But, guys, we want to know from you, especially if you're watching in the live chat right now. Eddie, talk to you, man. What gives a game long legs? Is it a solid foundation? Like Chris said, is it name recognition? What makes a game popular enough that it explodes out of the box of a generation, especially GTA, because we talked a lot more about Overwatch, but GTA in a way is a way bigger game because it started on the 360 and it's still selling more copies on the Xbox One. It made a generational leap and it's still selling. Let us know in the live chat what gives a game long legs. And do you think any game coming out in the future is going to have long legs? Let us know in the live chat. Or if you watch this later on YouTube, let us know in the comments. Make sure to subscribe first. Don't forget. And you can always hit us up on our Facebook community group. Just look up Xbox Dive on Facebook. Find us on there. Or hit us up on Twitter at the Xbox Dive. Facebook is a very beautiful place because it has really awesome people there.
Beautiful people.
The Xbox Dive, as we mentioned many times before, we have a great community group on there. Make sure to go on there and join it because every week, if you want to help us mold the show, go on there and participate in our polls. Every day we record, early in the day, we put up 3 topics and let you vote on what we're going to talk about. This week, our topics were the benefits for games for hosting free weekends on Xbox Live, which we actually kind of touched on earlier. We talk about the fall games that no one are talking about, and we also had the best walking simulators on Xbox One. Now, the winner of this week, by a large margin, fall games that no one's talking about. Yeah. So I guess that's kind of an oxymoron because we're going to be talking about it. So people are talking about these games.
that's the Shyamalan twist.
Right. Ta-da! We see games no one else sees. That's how it is. But actually, before we hop into the topic, Chris, you did want to talk about a walking simulator. Best walking simulator on Xbox One.
I don't know. I haven't played Tacoma yet, so I'm really excited about Tacoma. Okay. Firewatch is amazing. Gone Home is amazing. Dear Esther is great, but What Remains of Edith Finch is a brilliant game.
So you have played through that one already?
I hadn't. Well, I played it on PC before at a friend's house because I obviously don't have a great PC. So I only played one of the memory one of the character sessions. So I'm looking forward to jumping into it. So, but I'll probably do that after Tacoma. But.
Cool. Okay. Well, let's start talking about games no one else is talking about. Because we love games. That's what we made the Xbox Dive. That's what we made the community group. We want to find out what games you guys are interested in. Now, we know no matter where you are, even if you're not a huge fan of video games, there's certain games you know are coming. You know Super Mario Odyssey is coming. You know Assassin's Creed is coming. You know the new Call of Duty is coming. These are games everyone is going to be talking about, right? But because of that, there's certain games just going to be slipping through the cracks. And we feel like this is a good time to kind of bring some of those up and just start talking about games you should at least put on your radar.
Yeah.
So, Chris, I'm going to let you kick this off, man, because we have a pretty good list here of, what's coming out soon. So we figured we'd talk about 3 or 4 games maybe and just kind of, let you know a couple things you'd, put on your calendar, stamp it.
Yeah. I wrote a bunch down, and so we're not going to go through all of them, but we can kind of pick out a few. So let me just say this: like some of these games are probably relatively well-known games. So the idea was that we just feel like they're not really being talked about. There's not really a lot of hype behind them. So that's kind of where we came from. So I'll start, and I'm going to actually kind of do a 2-for-1. There are actually 2 Lego games coming out this fall, and I absolutely love the Lego games. Now I'm a father, so that helps. But my gamer tag is also Neo Lego, which also helps. I'm a big Lego fan, and so we are getting in September. We're getting the Lego Ninjago, the movie, the game. They have done 2. They've done 1.5 of these. They did Lego the movie, the game, and they did a Lego Batman playset for Lego Dimensions based on the Lego Batman movie. That's right. So they've done these before. They tend to be kind of B team games, so they don't necessarily tend to be as great as the others. So for instance, the same year that we had the Lego movie come out, I believe Lego Batman 3 came out, which was a phenomenal game. The movie, the game was maybe a mediocre at best. It was much smaller, condensed world, but it was still cool. The reason I even put this on my list is because I absolutely love Ninjago. My kids love the Ninjago cartoon, and it's on Netflix, and we've watched all 4 seasons. There's more than 4, but I think there's only 4 on Netflix, and we've watched all 4 of them like 4 or 5 times. And I think it's hilarious. I think it's really funny, and I love that it's an original IP.
Sure.
For Lego, and so it's kind of this mecha. Again, I'm a Power Ranger fan, so it's these ninjas driving mechs. I mean, I'm totally into this. So I'm excited about that. The movie looks really, really great, and so I'm excited for that. But then, more importantly, in November we have Lego Marvel Superheroes 2, and I feel like we got the Lego The Force Awakens, which had a lot of buzz behind it, and then we got Lego Dimensions, which had a lot of buzz. But I feel like there's not a lot of buzz for this game, even coming out of Comic-Con where they showed a lot of it. But I'm telling you, this game looks so great. And you're playing, you actually start as the Guardians of the Galaxy, so it's gonna be more of a cosmic adventure. And you got, your main bad guy is Kang the Conqueror, so it's all about time travel, and you're gonna see Caveman, Captain America, and
Captain Caveman.
80s Hulk, and yeah, Captain Caveman too. So anyway, look, I'm a huge Lego game fan. I don't think these games are really being talked about a lot, but I definitely think Lego Marvel Superheroes is going to be an amazing game when it launches. So there's my first one for you.
Awesome. My first one, I guess I'll kick off. The first one that pops into my head that many people, I don't know if you'd be excited for or not. Life is Strange, Before the Storm. This is one where the first Life is Strange kind of fell under the radar. It's from Don't Nod, somewhat of a newer company, and a lot of people thought it was more of a Telltale Games clone, right? It's episodic, telling a story, make choices. It affects, the next episodes. So in a way, it does really follow the Telltale formula. But once you get into it, it's a really good game. The story, while some of the dialogue is pretty bad, because these are like older French guys trying to write like American high school girls, so some of it isn't really that great.
Yeah.
But the actual story itself was really good. You play as this girl with powers who can rewind time, which is great. And, you hang out with your best friend Chloe, who is looking for her friend, Rachel Amber, who disappeared.
Yeah.
And not to spoil anything, but the way Life is Strange ends, it's rumored, they haven't officially announced it yet, that Life is Strange Season 2 is coming. So that's going to be great. I'm not really sure how they're going to do that. But this is a prequel. This is about Chloe, the main antagonist friend, right? So you're following her and her friend Rachel before she disappears. So it's kind of like their relationship. And if it's anything like the first game, it's going to be really good. Because that first season of Life is Strange, the cliffhangers on that, I was like, oh my gosh. Because that one, I was reviewing, and I was doing every episode for site. And, dude, it was crazy because there would be like a month or a month and a half between episodes. And you're like, oh my gosh. Imagine watching one of your favorite shows and it ends on a cliffhanger. And it happens all the time, like when a season ends, right? But instead of a season ending, it's every single episode. So I'm interested to see what they're going to do because there's some changes, right? The person who does Chloe, the voice actress, is not the same due to the whole voice actor strike that happened. So
I hate when they do
they
that.
did bring in the old voice actor to kind of give tips. So I'm not sure how well that's going to pan out. Also, time mechanic is gone, right? Because you're not playing as the main girl in Life is Strange. The first one, you're playing as her friend Chloe. So I'm not sure. It's just going to be a story. So I'm not really sure where this is going to go, because every other game you play, like Walking Dead, right? Zombies are in it. Or Borderlands, it's comedy, you know, you're on a planet. Back to the Future, you're traveling through time. This is the first game I could think of where there's no real hook to it. The hook is the relationship between these characters.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you do, you kind of know how it's going to end, because it's a prequel. But I'm still really excited to play it, just because I really enjoyed the first one. It's kind of like one of those diamond in the rough games where people didn't talk about it until later. Because I remember when it first came out, I was championing this game, saying you gotta play Life is Strange. It's unique. It had a great time mechanic, had a great photography mechanic, and the story was really good. And then later, like months and months later, after it finished, people were like, oh my gosh, Life is Strange is great, because they've had sales on it. Was it ever on Games with Gold? I can't remember.
I don't think. No, I don't.
Because
I know. It's been on a lot of their sales though.
Right, and I know, because I know it was on PSN, whatever they call theirs, PlayStation Plus Games of the Month. I know it was on there. I couldn't remember if it was on Games with Gold or not. Yeah. But Life is Strange is really good, and honestly, because it's a prequel, you don't really have to play the first one.
Yeah.
I highly suggest playing the first one. The soundtrack is great and stuff.
Yeah.
Check it out. But yeah, so mine's gonna be Life is Strange Before the Storm.
Good. Man, I have a lot I want to talk about. Let's talk about. I'll talk about a game that comes out in, I believe, in the 1st of September, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But a game called Battle Chasers Night War.
Okay.
And this game was actually initially revealed. I want to say initially, I think it was, but the first time I can remember seeing it, it was the Nindy showcase right after the Switch came out.
Yeah.
But don't quote me on that. That could be wrong. But so basically, it's like a traditional JRPG, and so you party up. And you go around map. You run into like the enemies are visible on the map. You run into enemies. It kind of transitions to a turn-based style RPG. And look, I love these kind of games. I grew up on these kind of games, so they're a lot of fun. And Battle Chasers itself, though, is a comic book series. It was initially done by Joe Madureira, who is the artistic lead behind Darksiders, and the comic follows. It's kind of a medieval comic, so your main guy is kind of a knight, and you have like a princess, or like a bad like princess, mm-hmm. and or I actually think she's like a pirate kind of. Anyway, the characters are really cool, but the comic was really short-lived. I think it was Wildstorm when they came out with Wildstorm. I think it was one of the comics that they had for a while, and it never got a lot of traction. But the art looks amazing, and it kind of reminds me. It reminded me a little bit of when I saw Child of Light. Child of Light a couple years ago came out. Did you ever play Child of Light, the UR game?
Well, yeah, I did actually. I got that on. Was it Wii U? I had it on something. I remember I did play it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I absolutely love that game, and it was a very much a turn-based RPG, mm-hmm. and I like those kind of games. It was kind of a light version of that. It was nowhere near like the 40 or 50 hours you'd put in like a Final Fantasy game. Sure. I think it ended up only being like 12 hours or something like that. But I'm all about that. If you can give me a really cool JRPG set in the Battle Chasers universe, it's kind of furthering that story. With that great art design, and you give me a solid 10, 12, 15 hour RPG, I'm into that. So this is a game I think that it's going to do really well on Switch, because I don't think there's a lot like that right now mm-hmm. on Switch, but I'm looking forward to play it. It's coming to everything, so I'm looking forward to play it on Xbox One. So if you're kind of in the mood for like a JRPG, look it up. It's called Battle Chasers Night War. So check that out.
Okay. My next game actually comes out relatively soon. Earlier, we talked about Saints Row, right? We talked about Saints Row, that's kind of like a copy of GTA. Well, they're coming out with a new game called Agents of Mayhem. It looks like a blast. It's not really like Overwatch. I mean, there's 4 different characters you can play as that you could switch to on the fly. But it's kind of based on like an 80s cartoon series. Like, the villains are over the top. The gameplay is over the top. It's pretty much, if you can kind of picture Overwatch and Saints Row kind of mashed together, or kind of like a Sunset Overdrive kind of feel. It's hard to explain. You have to go watch the trailer, right? Go up, look up Agents of Mayhem. It looks like an absolute blast to play. I'm super excited to play it. And that's one I feel like people keep forgetting is coming. It almost has like it's like a mix of all these things. It almost feels like a Crackdown. Almost kind of feels like an Overwatch with the characters. It feels like Saints Row, obviously. But it just looks like a blast, an absolute blast to play this game. And I believe it's just, I want to say it's just single player. I think it's got multiplayer component too. Because it's, like I said, you're playing these missions, you kind of switch to the characters on the fly, but it just looks so much fun. I know that was a horrible way for me to explain it, but the game is so crazy, it's hard to explain what it is. But just go online and look up Agents of Mayhem.
Yeah, I absolutely have no interest in this game, but I will say that giant guy in the trailer rode in on an anchor,
right?
And I'm all about that big guy throwing an anchor at people. But I just this is another game like Overwatch that I see and I have absolutely zero interest in playing it. I think it's definitely not for me. But maybe one day it goes free and we play it in a.
And that's one reason I wanted to bring this one up, because from the minute the trailer released, I'm like, this game looks like a blast. It's dead in the water because it's coming out around other really big releases. So I just wanted to shed some light on it. It's going to be great. But okay, man, let's hit one more.
One more. Okay, so my last one is a game called A Hat in Time.
Oh, yeah. Looks good.
So A Hat in Time was initially, it was a Kickstarter game, and they made a ton of money. I think that their initial goal was like 30,000, and I think they ended up with like over 200,000. But it looks it looks super super cool. The developer is called Gears for Breakfast. So if you want to look up either Gears for Breakfast or A Hat in Time, but this is basically a 3D platform, and we're starting to see kind of a little bit of a resurgence. You see these people that have grown up playing Banjo-Kazooie and Mario, and now they're in the game making business, and that's what they want to make of the games that they like. And Ukulele was a direct byproduct of that, and Ukulele was hit or miss. I know you played it a little bit, and it had some fans and definitely had some complaints.
I know Jacob Rush is still waiting for it.
Oh yeah, that's true. Sorry about that, Switch fans. But yeah, I'm really into this game. So basically, you play characters on a time machine who get sucked out of the time machine. You drop onto a land, onto like a planetoid, and it's just a 3D platformer. And the art design looks really. I mean, it harkens back to like a Banjo. It actually reminds me a little more of Psychonauts, kind of in its vibe. Not so much like the crazy vibe, but like the kind of the chibi type characters and. But I mean, it's just a platformer, and it looks great. These are games that I absolutely love. These are games that I can play with my kids, and I have a lot of fun. I mean, we have Super Lucky's Tale coming out this year, and and like you say, Ukulele and the Crash Collection. So we're getting some of these games, but I think A Hat in Time is one that hasn't really been talked about a lot. So if you guys are into mascot platformers or old 3D platformers, think Mario Sunshine or Banjo-Kazooie. Like if that's your kind of thing, check out A Hat in Time. It looks absolutely great.
And Hat in Time has been around a while, because that was one I almost kickstarted, because that was back when it first started. One of the Kickstarter goals was that it would come to Wii U, which obviously isn't happening now.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I haven't kickstarted much. I mean, Shovel Knight, I kickstarted that, and I think it was around the same time as like Shovel Knight. Like it's been a while since this game's been announced. And the look has drastically changed, but it still looks great. Like you said, 3D platformer. It's going to be absolutely awesome. And actually, you kind of spoiled my last one, because I was actually going to talk about Super Lucky's Tale. Just because this is one where even I wrote it off when I first saw it. Like Super Lucky's Tale, first of all, we got the burn from E3 because we thought it was Conquer, right? Wasn't Conquer. Then it's got that cutesy look to it, right? And we know it used to be a VR game, but if you're like me and you wrote this game off, but you're a fan, such as myself, of 3D platformers, I highly suggest, maybe it's not for you. Maybe you don't want to buy it, but I suggest put it back on your watch list. At least pay attention to this game.
Yeah, it looks good.
I mean, like I said, graphically, it still looks a little too cutesy for me. But from what I've heard about this game, they say it's built from the ground up. It is a brand new game. It is not a riff on the VR game. This is brand new, made specifically for the Xbox One, right? But they say it is extremely difficult. This reminds me of, I'm trying to think what other game has been like this lately. I mean, like Yoshi's Island, the first Yoshi's Island was extremely difficult, but it looked like a kid game, right? I feel like Super Lucky's Tale is going to be the same way. It looks extremely easy. It looks cute and fluffy and wonderful, but I think this is going to be a game that's going to surprise people. This is going to be one where it's probably not going to get a lot of sales just because even though there's a resurgence, 3D platformers still don't sell that well. They're my favorite genre by far, but they just don't sell well. Yeah. But there's a lot of really bad platformers out there, and I've played them, and they are awful. But if what I hear is true from other developers out there and other people with hands-on time, Super Lucky's Tale is definitely one to keep on your radar. So that's the last one.
Yeah. It looks good, and the fact that it's coming exclusive to Xbox One is exclusive. Like this version is exclusive to Xbox One, and if you are picking up an Xbox One X, I know it sounds stupid, but this is going to take full advantage of 4K. And 4K? Look, if 4K, and if anything, if you can imagine like like a Pixar movie and just how just crisp that looks, like that's what this game's going to look like in 4K. Again, we think of 4K and we think of games, like Anthem or Call of Duty or something like that. But like you can still have a game like Super Lucky's Tale that is super polished and super detailed, and it's gonna be cool. I mean, if you're picking up an Xbox One X, it definitely should be something you don't just overlook.
Absolutely. And so, guys, what games did we miss? Because there are a lot of games we didn't talk about. One thing I'm thinking off of the top of my mind, was it Public Battle Underground?
PUBG.
Yeah,
but
that's one we could talk about forever. I mean, that's
but
one game.
Everybody's talking about PUBG. True. I will throw out Absolver. If you guys haven't, if you don't know what Absolver is, go look up Absolver. It looks great.
Cool. But so we're just two guys with this little rinky-dink Xbox show. We only get about 10 minutes per topic, so we missed a lot of games. So let us know, guys. What games are you excited for that no one's talking about? If you're watching this on Mixer, Eddie, talk to you, man. Everybody else in the chat, make sure to hit us up on there. Let us know what games are you looking forward to. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. Also, let us know in the comments down below. As we mentioned before, we always read these comments. We always check it out. We want to know what you guys are talking about. We try to respond to all of them and also mention them in our show. And lastly, don't forget to check out our Facebook community group. That's where all the conversation goes down. That is also where we pick these topics every week. And sometimes they're not even inside the poll. Like last time we had Wellington in our group. He put out a question. And the question was so good, we actually turned it into a full topic on the show. So we listen and we respond to everything you guys are talking about. We're just like you. We're actually just part of the conversation. We just happen to be the ones behind the microphone. But, hit us up on the Facebook community group. And finally, if you want to talk to us on Twitter, you can hit us up at the Xbox Dive. So, guys, that's another week down. Episode number 8. We hope you guys enjoyed another show of the Xbox Dive. If you're sticking around, if you've been around since episode 1, we are extremely grateful. Thank you guys very, very much. And a shout out again to everybody in our community group. All of you are awesome, especially all the new people that have joined recently. It is so great that you're there, that you found us. Like, people have actually found us. Like, we talked to Ryan Link on there recently, like we mentioned him earlier in the show, just as a new member. We asked him, how did you find us? And he just stumbled upon us in a podcast, search. That's how he found us. So how'd you guys find us? We would love to know. Hit us up